going uphill.
It will certainly be decent.
Just in front of him, it looks like.
Oh,
here comes Hoyer.
Here comes Godin as well. Oh, Godin. It's one or the other. Oh! And
somehow he kept that on.
And that was Hoyer again, getting all frisky into the chicane. Diaz driver. Here comes Godin again. Which direction is he going to go? He's going to go to the left. Oh, they're just centimetres away from touching into the first corner. It's a terrible corner to go side by side in here. And he's overcooked it, Godin.
Doesn't lose too many positions as a result. He only drops down as far as ninth. Thank you for tarmac runoff area.
Yeah, I mean, a few years ago that was gravel, and that wouldn't.
Yeah, that was 1991. He was like Mansell. He would have been in the gravel.
Yeah, Mansell didn't get out of that gravel trap, as I recall. So let's have a look. What's going on a bit further down? Anything good in the second? You know what? The second half of the grid is very, very kind of just polite, really, at the minute. So I think we've got to head back to the front. Kessler leading. Osterkamp second. Osterkamp, Sammy, looks rather untidy compared to how he did last week.
Yeah, he's been a little bit error. He's made a couple of errors so far this season. I wonder if that is down to his aggressive driving style. And yeah, hasn't really launched an attack on his teammate yet. Harrison Finch looking strong in P3. Just at the end of that last, Scott Newton just going a little bit wide, sorry. But actually got a really good run on Enric Andre. He gained 2 positions at the end of that last lap. And Newton's going to have a chance perhaps going down into 130R.
Well, remember, Andre finished very well last week. He finished in second place in his first race of the season, the French driver.
Newton looking lively again here going into the final chicane, the Casio Triangle, as it's known. Final corner here, it was modified a few years back, and see if Newton can get a good run on the exit here. It's Hoyer that's pulling them all around. Big gap to Phil Reed, who's just up the road. And if these lot continue to scrap, then the gap will just get bigger from here. He's found a gap on the inside. Hoyer shuts the door.
There's a danger of being 2 moves there on part of Hoyer. And Andre hits him. And he somehow managed to save that. And he does again. And maybe he got a tiny bit of what he deserved, because he was weaving around right in front of Andre. I think Andre just had enough of him.
You might be right there.
I mean, what do you think, Sam? Because it was borderline, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I thought the move was a little bit naughty, but...
yeah, it was. Not condoning that.
Yeah, I think Andre just ever so slightly tapped the back, didn't he? Just misjudged where his car was. A little bit of net code as well. But yeah, the move down the straight wasn't particularly good either.
It was a little bit last minute from Hoyer. Andre's move was clumsy, so it was a bit of 50-50 out there. Somehow managed to stay ahead of Scott Newton.
Race order then, 8 minutes in. It's Kessler now with a half a second advantage over his teammate Osterkamp. Harrison Finch was the quickest driver on the last lap, a 57.0 in third. Then Phil Reed, and then it's this massive group of Andre, Newton, Herman, and Newton having to go defensive already as we come up towards 130R. This could kick off going into the final chicane.
Yeah, it could indeed, and Osterkamp pretty much matching that time. The inside, goes Andre. Newton's on the outside. Newton's now going to have the inside for the Casio Triangle. He bounces over the curb. He did so well to avoid Andre there. I thought for certain there was going to be some contact. Sarah Dove's in the pits. She had no front wing, and that has cost her a lap.
Up against the pit wall as they went down the front straight there, this group. Newton's going to go to the outside going into turn 1. That might work.
Oh, hello. Be outstanding if he gets this done. Andre gives him just enough space. Side by side then in the S's section. Newton with the long way around. And the laws of physics were definitely on his side there.
Great move, and that started pretty much on the exit of the final chicane. And a third of a lap later, he gets the move done, and Newton now into 5th place. Now he can chase after Phil Reed up ahead.
Yeah, we'll see if he's got the pace then. 4 seconds to Phil Reed. And at the front, Sam, it looks very, very close indeed between Kessler and Osterkamp. At least it wasn't the start of the lap. It's calmed down somewhat in the middle sector.
Yeah, just 6 tenths between them, and Finch looking very strong behind, I must say. Probably looks arguably the fastest of these three. And yeah, just looks very comfortable there across Kessler and Osterkamp teammates. They got to make sure that they do take this win, because they've definitely got a strategic advantage right now.
Yeah, he's definitely right. They need to work together and not do what Finch and Hoyer did earlier on. Hoyer, incidentally, is down to 10th. Doesn't look to have sustained any damage, Adam, so I think he's pretty much got away with it. But he might be getting a bit off. And I was going to say Hoyer.
Oh, he's in the wall.
Oh,
tried to rejoin the circuit, and that grass was a bit more bumpy than I think he was anticipating.
Oh man, big accident for Newton. And he nearly reversed into the track. But that'll be that for him, I think. He might be able to carry on.
Good battle though between Hoyer and Herman.
Front wing doesn't look great for Newton. Sorry, Adam, to butt in, but front wing doesn't look great. But if the suspension survives, he can't take 130R very easily. If the suspension survives, he might be able to at least finish the race.
Hoyer just made a right mess of the final corner, and it means that he's now back down to 9th again. I think he might have just got 8th for a brief moment. Herman has been passed by McLeod as well. So that is
he got past. Sorry, McLeod got past Herman, and Herman's still ahead of Hoyer. So McLeod up to 7th now.
With the David Coulthard helmet with the flag of St Andrew blazoned across the top.
It's a good job we got that one right, isn't it?
I know. I very nearly said it, didn't I?
Yeah.
It is the Commonwealth Games. They should really learn the nations.
Yeah, your family's Scottish, aren't they?
One side is, yeah.
Never mind. Gary Nolden's in 10th place, and he's behind Manuel Hoyer, trying to close in. Urkel Lindstrom's just behind as well. And then it's Evan Imre and I am Keeman just behind. Then Connor Ryan, Alistair Hay. Then a good battle shaping up between Tom van Hooyman and David Buitelaar. Different lines through the kink there for those two.
That has got a name. It's something R, isn't it? Can't remember the number.
I do know
275 or something.
It's something odd, isn't it? It's
supposed to. It's the radius. That's what the R stands for.
Yeah, because they couldn't think of calling it anything else.
Because it was originally a test track.
It is called 200R.
Well,
it's not really. I mean, it is a corner in some cars. It's quite difficult in some cars in some conditions. Like in the wet, Sam, that thing can be a nightmare.
Yeah, absolutely. And just got Ty McLeod, Stephen Herman, 3 wide going into turn 1.
My
Herman,
God.
I think, is going to have it just ahead of McLeod, who loses 1 position. Hoyer just stays in behind at the moment, but that was 3 wide going into turn 1, and very fortunate that didn't end in an accident.
Well, Herman certainly brought his testicles to the proceedings, didn't he?
The cojones are full out in force here.
All the way. And McLeod nearly cuts across the front of Hoyer, and Hoyer's had enough of this race, I think, probably already. Considering what's happened. Kerry Nolden's just behind.
Buitelaar did get past Van Hooyman on that lap, so that's the Frenchman up to 16th place now, 5 positions gained. Biggest mover is Ian Keeman, who's up to 13th place, 9 positions gained for him.
Yeah, 9 places there. It's very solid work in the early going. Apex Racing TV. It's the Apex Online Racing Formula Renault 2.0. Didn't have time to introduce ourselves. Andrew Woodhouse alongside Adam Bath and Sam Fitzpatrick with Alex Simpson on the cameras.
Because of the commentator, Keeman's just spun at the hairpin. He's now down to 16th.
Unbelievable, isn't it, really? How that happens. Keeman is now side by side with Van Hooyman. Van Hooyman looks like he's going to go through. It does indeed. And that catchy, that sort of eye-catching pink and black livery, which looks pretty nice, I must say. And Van Hooyman, he's going to be under pressure from Keeman here, though. Keeman, who as Adam said, starting 22nd.
Oh, big crash. It's McLeod. He's rolled the car over and he's done.
Oh man, he has had a big one in 130R.
Wow.
He's side by side with Manuel Hoyer. Hoyer is not having a good day. What on earth has happened?
Oh,
So he's on the inside. Does he hit the curb? Did he hit the curb, Adam?
No, it looks like,
No, I think it was just a tap.
yeah, they
Under
hit each
contact.
other side-to-side contact, yeah.
You see, he did hit the curb quite hard, and it just unsettles the car, maybe enough to just drift over a couple of inches and say, I want to just quickly bring Alex in just for a second, because he's probably an expert at this track. Do you think that's possibly what happened there, mate?
I'm sorry, guys. I'm so busy in the background dealing with all the little issues that I really haven't been.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's all right.
I do apologise. So,
It's okay.
yeah, just because of all the technical issues we had with the stream and everything, and of course there's still 25 people on the other stream waiting to watch it, and I'm trying to get them all over to this one.
All right. I'm sorry. No, my problem. Sorry, my fault.
Well, that has resulted in McLeod being out of the race, and this is shaking things up a bit now. It's Kessler still leading, Osterkamp second, and Finch in third. Then it's Reed on his own in fourth, who's had a bit of a tardy lap since I've been looking at him. Then it's Godin in fifth. Then it's Andre in sixth, seventh Herman. Then Hoyer is in eighth. And then it's ninth place for Nolden, and 10th is Lindstrom.
Conor Ryan looking for a way past Imre, Evan RT Imre. Right.
Oh, that's Kerry, isn't it?
Yeah. So I didn't see it. Yeah. What's happened there?
Kerry Nolden has had a crash, especially at the same place where Scott Newton had his crash earlier on. Got on the curb on the exit, and the car had a tank slapper there, and he didn't hit the wall as hard. Change for the lead as well. Rennie Osterkamp's taken the lead from Patrick Kessler.
It has indeed. Where did it happen for Osterkamp? Well, it's down the main straight and into turn one. It's an easy move indeed for Osterkamp. He goes through, and Kessler's led every lap since the beginning of the race. The German into the lead now, Osterkamp. So, man who started on pole, now at the head of the field, and didn't look like he was driving well, Adam, at the beginning of the race, but after about 3 or 4 laps, he started to settle down, and it's going to be scary for these drivers if he shows the pace he did at Silverstone.
And if you're new to sim racing, they are not Jordans, they are the SimRC.de team, 1-2 at the moment. And they're doing pretty well here.
They do have that Jordan vibe about them. A word, Sam, as well, for the positive sim racing car, Harrison Finch in third place, who really is hanging on a lot better than you would have imagined, given where he was after the first few corners.
Yeah, he's really competitive out there. And yeah, certainly there seems to be a contender, perhaps, for the race victory. Keyman's just had a spin.
Yeah.
Coming last part of the S's. And yeah, just got on the grass and a bit bumpy out there. And lost and spun the car. They nearly hit a couple of drivers as well, rejoining the track.
It is a blind left-hander, so those that come around at a fair rate of knots will only see him at the last minute. Need one of those road signs there, don't they? As here come the top 3 out of the final corner. It looks like it's going to be Finch that's more likely to attack than René Osterkamp right now as they come over the line to start lap 10.
Kessler's right in the slipstream, though. He's not going to get in a position to make a move into turn 1. To be honest, if these guys are smart, they're probably not going to go into battle with each other, because last thing they want to do is give the win to Harrison Finch from this strong position that they're in. So Finch's car looks like it's settled quite nicely, despite the fact he's right in the dirty air, Sam, and it can't be that easy to get the car turned into some of these fast corners.
Yeah, absolutely. I just wonder what downforce packages these drivers are running. See if Finch perhaps has a little bit more straight line speed. Perhaps that's going to help him with the overtakes. I was watching Enric Andre on Godin down the pit straight, and he just lifted off, I think, down the pit straight. Clearly, he's trying to save a little bit of fuel, and Andre actually a little bit off the track there, but yeah, just trying to save a little bit of fuel. And I think that's a strategic move, just so they can go maybe a lap further and get the overcut.
A few cars have come into the pits on the last lap. I would tell you they are, but I can't scroll down on my screen. There we go. It was Imre that was in. Also in as well was Christian Cat as well. So yeah, 2 cars coming in on this one on the last lap.
Just seeing Kessler drawing ever nearer on the back straight into 130R. It's going to be close by the time we get to the chicane, but maybe not close enough for a move. Just stays put at the minute. Can he get the drive off of Casio? Nosticam got a great exit there, and that's going to preserve his lead, you would feel, for another lap. About just under 20 minutes gone here at Suzuka. And here comes Harrison Finch. Well, it wasn't a terrible exit by Kessler, but Harrison Finch got a fantastic run through there. Got the slipstream, powered through, and into second place. It's a great run for him.
Fastest lap of anybody on that last tour of the circuits. And yeah, that is him through into second position. Fastest lap is currently being held, incidentally, by Jean-Francois Godin. Sits in 5th place, 56.753. Good lap from him. We'll see if he can use that to get him closer to Phil Reed, who sits 2 seconds ahead of him in 4th.
Well, this appears that it's the first race of the season for Harrison Finch, so definitely making an impression. Connor Ryan's up to 10th place, making a good impression as well. 19th on the grid he was. Alistair Hay behind him's gained 7. David Buitila has gained 9. Rob Plumley's up 9 as well. He's up to 15th place.
Oh yeah, and he's right on the tail of Daniel Morris, who sits in front of him in 15th place.
Now, I know you weren't. Sorry, I was going to say I know you weren't here last week, but you've got to go on the roll bar. Have a look at Rob Plumley's trousers.
Doing now. Oh yeah, look at that.
Don't know if we can see that on the cameras, but yeah, the trousers are the tartan trousers are out in force for Plumley today.
Yeah, got some genre bottoms there like that. Go through 200R or so, going into the spoon curve, and yeah, Rob Plumley just losing a bit of time on that lap. Actually, he was right on the back of Daniel Morris there, but looks like nice to gain some time.
Enric Andre and Godin.
Oh yeah,
really close. Andre he's just sitting in the slipstream. He's fuel saving.
Behind them though, it's
what
too
a party
wide.
pooper.
It's Hoyer through past Herman, and the fastest lap of the race to boot as well. That's a great lap from Hoyer, and it's got him a place.
Sam, that's pretty astonishing considering he's almost certainly got some damage from something that he's had so far. He's had about 3 or 4 contacts.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's losing it. He nearly lost it through there.
Yeah,
and again.
He's probably heated up the tyres now, as Alex sometimes says. How the tyre model, of course, it takes a couple of laps to cool down the tyres, and until then, you're pretty much driving on ice. So
that's going to be
really
fun.
Japanese tarmac.
Onto a straight.
That's the Japanese tarmac. Yeah, that's it. Japanese tarmac plus French tyres equals lots of sliding.
We know what American tarmac and French tyres. We know what happens to them. Yeah.
Oh dear. It's sad that that's almost an old joke.
Oh yeah, the people that were born in 2005, they're 13 now.
Oh God, unbelievable. Unbelievable. It feels like only yesterday since that daft race that we had. I've actually, and you know what? I've actually seen worse F1 races. So here comes Harrison Finch for the lead.
Oh,
Nosterkamp blocks him off. But Finch has obviously got the car set up. I wonder if he's done a Josh Thompson, Sam, and set the car up with just straight line speed in mind.
Yeah, he's got the run here to the outside. I think he's going to have the momentum going into turn 1. and this is kind of the line that you want to be on. Can he get ahead?
Yes.
Still
Oh,
side by
Oscar
side.
missed it. And Finch. Oh man, they're almost touching. That's unbelievable.
God, great respect and trust between those two. I'm sure anybody else they could have been off.
I can't believe that precision, and it was either precision or it was sheer dumb luck on some parts. But yeah, brilliant stuff. And you can see the way that Finch's car's moving around in the SS section in the turbulent air of René Osterkamp. But what a brilliant little battle that was. Finch trying hard to get the lead. He started in 5th place.
Oh.
Maybe his setup wasn't optimal for qualifying, but it certainly looks like it's coming into its own now on lap 13 of the AOR Suzuka race.
Good battle here between the orange arrows of Marvin Sluman and Imre.
Oh, I was laughing, but it's an actual orange arrow.
Imre through into 20th place.
Somebody going wide in front of them as well. Sam Blackwood going a little bit for the scenic route. In front of them is Joseph Ringrose in 18th place. He said it's pretty much a learning experience this season. I am Keeman. He's not really had the doesn't seem like he's got his mojo back since he had the spin.
That's the VRT iRacing pink car, pink team I should say, for Joseph Ringrose.
And Finch is going for it again.
Oh,
here he comes then. All around the outside of the castle. Oh, they've hit each other. Oh. And he's had to cut the course, Harrison Finch. That's going to lose him a couple of seconds. Slow down, yeah. He's going to have to let Kessler through. Was there a slowdown for Osterkamp there as well? He didn't look like he's got the greatest run ever.
Fortunately, I think they've been running such quick laps that the slowdown might not have been too much for him. He might just have had to gently lift off the throttle going down the front straight. I might have saved him a bit. He's only lost half a second after all that, which is a lot better than if he got the slowdown on the opening lap.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually. And, you know, he didn't gain any time by cutting the course, so I think that's fair enough. Osterkamp leading the way through the Dunlop curve. A challenging corner, long corner. The first part's very tough. The second part is easy flat in nearly everything.
Oh, Finch has vanished. Oh, he's back again.
There is an incident limit of 17, but he's not reached that yet. Wonder if anyone will be disqualified today. We've seen saw a spate of disqualifications in the BSRTC last night. Although that is the BSRTC.
Oh, we saw the incident limit get lowered, didn't we? Last week, Jordan Pierce had something go on because he's just exited the session. Hopefully we see him back for race 2, which will bring us on to cars that are out of the race. There are 3 out. Silvio Hurt didn't take the start, but Tom McLeod out. And Jordan Pierce out. Sarah Dove has been in the pits twice, but she is still circulating.
Just one race, I believe, Adam.
Oh, just the one race. There you go. I've been loving it so much.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go for 2.
Now the calendar makes sense, doesn't it? Actually, I've had a look at that. There we. I was thinking we don't have 2 Brazilian tracks in iRacing.
I saw it said 8:30 to 10:30, and I thought surely we'll get 2 races. But here we go. Here comes Finch versus Kessler now down the front straight. Kessler now trying to do what Osterkamp did to him a few laps ago.
Oh, nearly going through. Patrick Kessler, who started second, led most of the early going.
Hoyer v Andre going through the first corner, and that is Andre through. So that is Enric, the Frenchman, up into 6th place now, and Hoyer down to 7th.
Yeah, indeed. And Hoyer still toiling away. And he's starting 3rd on the grid, having a little bit of a nightmare. He can potentially improve it. I haven't seen many of the double race meetings yet. We'll get the next one when we go to the Mid-Ohio circuit. That'll be next Friday.
Yeah, then we've got 2 Italy races. 2 races in Italy anyway, at Monza.
Yeah. Or Monza. Then we've got Nordschleife, Donington.
Sorry guys, Andre off through the Degners.
I was looking at the timing screen, didn't see that at all. There we
Did he
go.
crash?
Just having a look now. Free taking
Oh, yeah.
one, gets on those curbs, and they're so abrasive that there's nothing he could do. The car bottomed out, and he went straight off into that tyre wall.
That's one of those. We saw it, didn't we, Adam? I can't remember who it was a couple of years ago in Formula One. We saw somebody go off and have the Rosberg maybe have the most pathetic incident, and it is a pathetic incident. But like you said, the curbs, they just grab the car, they just high centre the car, and you cannot slow down. The wall is close there as well. It's not one where there's a big margin for error. Not at all.
Nothing they can do to change the circuit really. It's they can't really do anything to extend the runoff area. That's why MotoGP stops coming here in after 2003.
Yeah, that was a horrible circumstance as well for them, and which makes, I don't know, again, not to digress too far, but it makes what happened in MotoGP in Moto, I think it was Moto 3 practice, makes that look even more disgraceful, doesn't it?
Oh,
when
it's Argentina today.
Intentionally crashes somebody off. When you consider how dangerous that is, and when you consider all the like fatalities and serious injuries that have been in that spot, it makes that look even more boneheaded than it actually was. And you know what? The more ridiculous thing is, no penalty for that. No penalty for intentional crashing. Dear me, the FIM need to definitely have their spectacles examined. Right.
Rossi got a penalty for less.
Well, exactly. Don't get me started on that one. Even the commentators wouldn't get started on that one. So Harrison Finch then, Sam, P2. He's going to be happy with what he's done so far, no doubt. But how does he go about regrouping and taking on René Osterkamp again? Because you sense that he needs that slipstream to really be effective, and he needs to make sure he doesn't drop out of that zone.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been kind of occupied trying to defend against Kessler for the past couple of laps, which has lost him a bit of time. Hasn't quite been able to run his normal lines, but now he's kind of back driving his normal lines, and I think that little bit of slipstream is giving him about 2/10 a lap, even from about a second behind because of the long straights around here. And he's back within a second. It had gone up to about 1.3 seconds. So I think Finch is looking good, and I think maybe Kessler might fall off a little bit, but I think Finch and Osterkamp are looking good for the win.
Well, it's funny you should say that. Finch came into the Castillo triangle sliding the rear end and looking all a bit leery. Kessler missed his braking point, went wide, lost half a second himself. So it's these drivers, it's a tough circuit, Adam, to really attack for a full hour, Suzuka.
Oh yeah, we'll take it out of you. We did a sports car race here 6 months ago now.
Oh yeah.
In the
Ferrari.
IMSA cars in the Ferrari, and that did take it out of us as well, and that was only 45 minutes. To be fair, we had done a 24-hour race, I think, about a few days before, so no wonder there. As Alistair Hay...
Hey, look, in fairness, we both won one.
Yes, one each. I had a big crash in that one, annoyingly, in one of them anyway.
The one I won, you crashed, and the one that you won, I spun, yeah. We never actually got to fight on the track, but there are Buitalar is in, and Alistair Hay is in, so...
Jacked up in the air, David Hay.
Yeah,
I haven't seen any of that Grand Prix 3.
David Hay?
Oh, it's Alistair Hay, sorry. I saw Hay, and then I saw David underneath, and I think I must have merged the two together.
Well, there you go.
You could say that David and Hay were in the pit.
You have been working at Man United. Maybe you thought it was David May. Maybe. Who knows? Hay's ahead of Imre, so Hay and Imre. And Alistair now needs to make hay while the sun shines. And it is shining here at Suzuka because it's 41 degrees track temperature. So, Sam, that's going to absolutely ruin the tyres, as we've seen. No wonder drivers are having a lot of moments out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to be really difficult with the grip. I think we've been discussing the Japanese tarmac. I think it's slick. I think the Japanese tarmac is supposed to be slick, so less grippy. But I'm not sure on that.
Oh,
so I guess that adds to it.
Close battle here between Jean-Francois Godin. He's through anyway. He was up the inside of Phil Reed going into the chicane, but has to take a tighter apex through the second part of it. And this could set up a re-overtake here by Reed going down the front straight.
Well, Reed's race has been semi-uneventful until now. But he's been powering along in fourth. And only now has he been challenged, but look at that, he can't get close. Can't even get close to Godin unless he wasn't trying to. Godin on the last lap did a 56.9. Reed did a 58.9. So 2 seconds. I wonder if there was a bit of a mistake as well by Reed somewhere along the line.
Yeah. Alec Hudson's just retired from the session, so problem for Alec there. Eric Andre is done for the day as well, so a few retirements starting to pile up now.
Yeah, that they joined Jordan Pierce and Ty McLeod. The two drivers out. Sarah Dove had a problem early on, losing the front wing, so she ended up coming in for a pit stop and is now a lap down. Scott Newton's had a crash, but he's back out there. Looks like, in fact, it looks like Adam, they've managed to repair that well.
On the maze, usually in these single seaters, if you get a bit of too much front end damage, then the car's done. But looks like the team have been able to do something. It may have hampered him straight line speed wise, like the mechanics did to our Ferrari at Le Mans. But yeah, he's back out there.
Yep, and it's good to see as well on the
battling with Joseph Ringrose, isn't he here?
Oh, it's going to be fairly close. Newton goes around the outside. He seems to like that move.
Oh, Reed's got fourth.
Australia.
Reed's got fourth back.
Oh, well done.
So that lap seemed to be a thing of the past as he flies over that inside curb, and the car gets unsettled as a result. He had to wrestle his way through that second part of the chicane.
Yeah, just he's got the Hype Energy sponsorship on that car, of course, sponsoring all of AOR in 2018, and they've just announced today that they're going to be partnering on an eSport team with Force India, Adam. So that's going to be an interesting one. I wondered if it wouldn't surprise me if some of the AOR drivers managed to get in on that.
Been a busy day of F1 news to go along with that. Monaco Grand Prix saying they're going to defy the no grid girls rule, while
They really? Oh,
saw that. And
well,
and also Lewis Hamilton's got a grid penalty for the week. So
has he actually got one? Has he?
yeah, it's now been confirmed. Yes, it's Rob Plumley pits.
Well, get the flame shields out, everybody.
Okay, get the salt ready because I feel there's fans coming.
I mean, thing is, you'd rather get a gearbox change out of the way now than have to do it later on in the season. I know all the races are created equal, but last thing you want is something like that to happen when you, if the title's on the line in the last couple of rounds. But
yeah, we've also had the 2020 rules sort of profile to us.
Meeting thing, so, yeah. And basically
pretty vague.
Yeah, I mean the one thing they said is they want the engines to be louder and cheaper. And the thing is, it's all right in saying that, but it's still being a hybrid. I mean, Sam, I don't know what you think about this, but still being a hybrid, surely there's a limit on how loud they can go.
Yeah, you'd think, wouldn't you? But I think they're louder than they were back in 2014, aren't they? So
yeah, they are
kind of going towards that way.
I
don't know how it functions.
Good. Like I'm not.
I like it. Yeah.
I'm really not. I really don't have a problem with it. I mean, I don't know. At first, it was a little bit alarming, I think, but 3 or 4 years later, I mean, these ones they sound quite, yeah, it's a bit rough around the edges, but I must admit, I reckon it'd be a lot better for people who actually go to the races, maybe, and not getting their ears blasted out. I don't know. I've never been to a Grand Prix, but I remember when the petrol cars. I've been to WEC with the petrol cars, and the Ferraris. The first time I heard them, they were shaking my ears to pieces. So,
Ford GT as well. But last year when we were there, 2 years ago. So
that sounded great, though, didn't it?
I think
you could tell when that was coming out.
The hybrids have come a long way since that qualifying session in 2014, where you could hear the crowd cheering Sebastian Vettel being eliminated from qualifying.
I think it's the thing is though the hybrids aren't going away, and that's the thing. And we see Godin going past Reed, by the way, as well. That was a good move on the previous lap. But yeah, I think you want to. There's a big argument going on, and I'm not going to go about Formula One too much longer because that's not what we're here for. But there's a big argument going on about kind of keeping the heritage of Formula One, keeping the DNA of Formula One. open cockpit and loud engines and all this business and technological difference between the cars. But at the same time, these days, sport in general, Adam, I'd say, and you know better than most people at the minute, is more about a show than about a strive for excellence. Almost, people are artificially, it's a bit like NASCAR has been doing for the last 10 or 15 years, is that they've been artificially manufacturing a show.
It's why, oh hello, here comes Reed for another overtake. These two are having their own battle here. Hoyer might get with them in a few moments, but you can see how sports like World Rallycross are ever growing in popularity just because of how instantaneous it is. Yeah, into the pits comes Jean-Francois Godin. The races are 4 or 5 laps and
maybe 4 or 5 minutes as a result. Yeah,
at the top. Yeah, I don't think we should make the races shorter. But there has got to be something that's happening constantly to make viewers want to tune in, and a battle not just between 1 or 2 teams, but a few others as well. They've got to make sure that they can get some of the midfield teams up there. The
best season ever for me, 2012, and that was the one where we had 7 different winners in the first 7 races. We had a battle for the title that went until the last round.
And we had Ferrari, McLaren, Williams, Red Bull,
Renault,
Lotus. 5 different teams win.
Hulkenberg should have won a race as well.
In Brazil, that's
race. Yeah. And that was Force India, wasn't it?
Yeah. So that would have been, 6 different cars?
Yeah. 6 different cars.
Out of this, there were 11 teams at that point?
Yeah.
12
teams, I think. Yeah. 7 different drivers won the first 7. Arguably you could have even seen a win for Michael Schumacher potentially at Monaco if it wasn't for
the grid penalty,
the penalty and things like that. It was a fantastic season. We had the most champions we'd ever had on the grid at once, or one of the largest amounts of champions we've ever had. And that's kind of what we need. And I'm sure it will. The season looks like we've only had 1 race. It looks like it's shaping up pretty well for a good battle. But again, we have to wait for Sunday to see exactly whether we're going to have a battle or not. Osterkamp in then from the lead. This is the time when the drivers are going.
Yeah,
leader is spinning now, and this is the time when the drivers are really going to have to make sure they hit all their marks, do everything right, adhere to the speed limit. That's the most important thing. Because Sam, how many times have we seen that not happen?
Yes, absolutely, and it's just It's just a waste of 15 seconds, isn't it, to gain a couple of tenths occasionally. So no point in risking it. And I think
there goes Osterkamp.
Yeah, Osterkamp didn't get a penalty at all, and Kessler didn't either. Will Osterkamp be in free air? Yes, he is. He's got 12 seconds of air ahead, so
nice.
He's got a chance. But Finch, of course, going to be on low fuel, and that could be enough. We'll see if he comes into the pits this time. He's got a little bit of traffic ahead with, I think that's Sarah Dove just ahead.
Just an idea of how well Harrison Finch is going. Sorry, Adam. 1:56.3 was his qualifying time. He's just done a 1:56.6 in the middle of an hour race.
Yeah, that Japanese time doesn't seem to be hindering him at all, does it? Both SimRC.de cars in then. And I wonder we could be seeing
Japanese tarmac grip hacks, isn't it?
There you go. Hashtag tarmac hacks or something like that. Going through Spoon Curve now. I've been working with social people all week. It's all about the hashtags. Up the hill then.
It's also about when not to hashtag.
Yes. If you couldn't love me when I was, that seems to be a new thing at the moment. Going through the final few corners, and we'll see if Finch comes in to make his pit stop with just over a quarter of an hour to go. He has got a bit of traffic just in front of him. Maybe that might sway his decision.
Well, he's going through Casio Triangle, and then he comes, yes. So into the pit lane. It's one of the best pit lane entries, I think, Adam, in the whole season, because it's pretty tough. It's quite fast, and it's difficult to get your braking right.
Definitely. It's almost like Melbourne in a sense. You've got a straight run down to the pit lane.
Austria as well is fairly similar.
Yes. Into the pits then. We'll see how long the pit stop is. We've been seeing pit stop times are around between 4 and 5 seconds. Up he goes. Car like on Grand Prix 3. Not getting jacked into the air. No tyres for him. And
Oh,
away he
wow.
goes,
That's-
4.7 seconds.
Well, that's the way to get track position. Is it over René Osterkamp? Here comes Osterkamp. He's over the start-finish line. Heading down to turn 1. It's going to be super, super close. He's surely going to have the momentum. Osterkamp drives all the way around the outside of Harrison Finch. Finch holds the inside line. Osterkamp with the big cutback.
Drifted
Finch.
out wide. He nearly had it.
Finch on the outside.
Oh!
Oh! Nearly contact. Finch has to take to the grass. But almost usurped Osterkamp with some clever strategy, Sam.
Yeah, I thought Finch had that one. On the inside, Osterkamp seemed to kind of back out of it, but Finch just lost the rear end and then lost it again through the S's. Still within 7/10 of a second though, so he should be within the slipstream range, and he had good pace at the end of that last stint, so I think he's going to be able to challenge nearly onto the grass and into the wall there. If he can just stay close, he's going to have a chance.
Oh, he's locking up left, right and centre here. Needs to get the tyres under control. He needs to keep the tyres under control. We've said for so many months and even a few years now on iRacing, the way the tyre model is, come on guys, get it sorted out. 41 degrees is the sort of temperature, Adam, that you'll have one moment, you won't be able to get the tyres back.
And it doesn't help that they're used tyres as well. So while he's trying to get the tyres up to temperature, there's not going to be as much grip for him to use. So hopefully he gets them back up to temperature now, and we'll see if he can launch a push or launch an attack with 15 minutes to go precisely now, as the gap's just around 1 second. It looks like it's going to be one of these two drivers that's going to get the victory today.
Well, 2-horse races aren't always bad. You know, you just need 2 drivers to make a great race, and we might have that in the second part of the race. Just 15 minutes or so to go in this AOR Formula Renault 2-litre race. Here on Apex Racing TV, Andrew Woodhouse, Adam Bath, Sam Fitzpatrick, Alex Simpson with you. And, well, what a fantastic venue this is. Seen some great action already. Still carrying on. Jean-Francois Godin and Manuel Hoyer. Well, those two are separated only by half a second, Adam, and well, we've seen Hoyer be in the wars so far today, so it might be one to keep an eye on.
Closing stages, yeah. Hoyer, 6th position. Last time around was on his outlap, so this is his first proper lap in anger here, and we can see what he can do on Jean-Francois Godin, who put in the fastest lap of anybody on that last lap of the circuit, 56.9. Still doing the 56s even in this late stages of the race. In fact, that was only 3/10 of a second off the fastest lap of the race, which is held by the aforementioned Hoyer. So see if he can close the gap. It looks like it's been a pretty good lap so far from Hoyer. The gap's coming down visibly as they go up to the hairpin.
He's had the pace, hasn't he, Hoyer? But just a few too many moments have just derailed his progress a little bit. Such as lap 4 when he did a 2-minute lap. Lap after wasn't much better. And then he, like I say, he did a very fast lap, 156.6. But since then, his pace has been good. But wheel-to-wheel combat's where he suffered today. Both at the start and later on, and off goes Godin. And he's well off, and he saved it. Well done to him for saving it. Almost came to a complete stop. His teammate goes through, Herman. So, well, Godin somehow managed to escape with the race still in his grasp.
Yeah, I thought we were going to have another Scott Newton moment there into the wall, but straight away, as soon as he felt he was losing it, he was straight on the brakes, and that's probably the wise thing to do. But that's going to cause a bit of damage for him, a bit of aero damage potentially. Going to cost him down the straights, which is very important around here, but he's got an 18-second gap to the car behind. Might fancy his chances against Herman, his teammate, but might just be a dull race now for Godin, just securing that 7th place.
Now, we have to be slightly careful with their team name. Flying Fuchs Racing, as in Christian Fuchs of Leicester City. So, yeah, that's how you say that, ladies and gentlemen.
There was a team that Manchester United were playing last week in a Dallas Cup, a youth tournament called Hikashi Fukuoka.
Yes, Fukuoka, yes.
Yes.
They've got a team in, I believe, they've got a team in the J League, possibly, as well.
Yeah, it might have been one of their youth teams. But yeah, that we just to be on the safe side in the office, we just all called it Hikashi.
I think it's probably safe, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dear mate, and all you'd need is to have Danny Shittu playing for them, and then that would be game set match, wouldn't it? Really. Dear me. Got the nominees for goal of the season as well for the EFL. I noticed some belters in that. Even one scored against Aston Villa, unfortunately.
Yeah, I was there after like 20 seconds. So the team of the year's out.
By those idiots, Sheffield Wednesday. Was that 20 seconds?
About 23 seconds in, yeah.
Man.
Oh, off. Osterkamp off.
Oh,
back on again. Osterkamp off.
Well, he
lost about 2 or 3 tenths there. He had to take a small trip across the grass.
Well, what did we see at Silverstone National, Sam? That he, at Silverstone, sorry, that he nearly threw that race away, didn't he?
Yeah, and Okayama as well. He spun on the first corner. He was leading going to turn 1 and all of a sudden spun. He is 9 tenths clear now of Finch. He had opened up the gap to about 1.2 seconds, but every time Finch kind of gets within a second, he just seems to make a small error, which costs him about quarters of a second. So he's got to be on it now, Finch. Got about 10 minutes to go. And he's certainly got the chance down to 7 tenths now. He's in the slipstream range, and overtaking him out here is so easy. He's right in the mix as long as he can just keep it clean.
We know how fast that car is in a straight line. That positive sim racing car, definitely positive delta on the straight. But Osterkamp, he kind of bottled it at Silverstone, but he recovered and he won by quite some distance. He won by over 10 seconds. It's a sort of situation here where can make or break your season as something like this. Do you hang on or do you crack under the pressure?
Shows how dominant he was at Silverstone, and definitely don't want to be cracking under the pressure at this stage in the season. It can really come back to bite you, the results at this part of the season, the middle part of the season, and you don't want to be looking back at races like these thinking if only you'd done something different. So we'll wait and see if anything changes. Just on a side note, Manuel Hoyer, that moment doesn't seem to have hindered him at all. He was only 2 tenths of a second away from beating the fastest lap of the race as he tries to gain some time again. It's almost like one of those IMSA races where was it Marcio Archidiacono? He constantly make mistakes even though he was the quickest driver on the circuit.
Yeah, a bit like when we watched BSR Formula Renault and Josh Thompson was one of the fastest drivers out there and couldn't get out of his own way. And we see that quite a lot in the races. You'd be surprised. But yeah, Finch, you can see maybe the lack of tyres might now. Osterkamp's off, but Finch is off as well.
It's almost a case of follow the leader.
Yeah, and Sam, that's again a case of the car, these single seaters being so low. Even the lowish curbs here at Suzuka can high centre the car.
Yeah, I didn't see the Osterkamp one. I saw the Finch one, and he did actually do quite well not to lose the car because, like you said, very easy to bottom out and did well to get back onto the circuit straight away. Was within 8 tenths back to 9 tenths. He's kind of close as Finch, but he just can't get really any closer than this.
They were pretty much.
Who's that in the barrier?
They were pretty much the same incidents.
Sluman.
Marvin Sluman, he was in 21st. That's the orange arrows. And that car's going to go the same way as where that team went. Unfortunately for them. Great livery, though. Enjoyed that one. Oh, he wouldn't have enjoyed that one, though. It's another pathetic little spin.
I think I've done that once.
Oh, he's bent the wing trying to turn it around. And that's why I think he's just gone back to the pits and he's probably had enough of that. It's a shame for him. He was still on the lead lap.
There's any close battles for you on the circuit. This is a reasonably close one. We've got Kerry Nolden here chasing down Connor Ryan. This is over 8th and 9th. Ryan, biggest mover on the circuit. 11 positions gained for the Brit.
Well, Nolden had to pit on lap 8, I think. So
18 lap stint, yeah.
Yeah, so he went off, didn't he? I think so. He's been mired a little bit down there. Connor Ryan It's had a really good race, as you mentioned. Nolden closing, gaining, really gaining now into 130R. Ryan felt the need to defend the inside. He's going to need to surely defend into the chicane. Now he leaves the door open. Nolden seizes the chance. He flies down the inside and judges that move to perfection. Good stuff by Kenny Nolden, AOR veteran. And yeah, well, Sam, that was... he defended the wrong corner, didn't he? Did Ryan? He should have defended the chicane and not 130R, I think.
Yeah, he maybe felt like he could get the run out to that final chicane, but he really didn't. Not really close enough to go for the move down into turn one. So, yeah, maybe should have defended a little bit more into that final corner. Finch just made a small error, lost about half a second, I think. I think that was in the S's, I'm not quite sure, but 1.5 seconds behind now. So just falling a little bit distant now.
Gap at the front.
Gap's gone back up to 1.5 seconds. It was about half a second last time I checked. So something's happened on this lap to Harris and Finch.
I think these two are just go. Oh man, that nearly happened again. We've seen the Exeter Spoon deal some real damage. And you know what, Adam? It's funny because I don't think the Exeter Spoon has ever really been a place that I've noticed in a race has been a real trouble spot.
Just seems to be that bumpy grass.
Yeah.
Or what dirt that painted green.
I mean, yeah. I mean, Finch. Yeah, you're right. He was within 2/3 of a second. Now, what's it going to be over the line? It's 1.6. So, lost a whole second on that lap. He was lapping in the very high 1 minute 56s, but that was a 58.0. He may have the pace in him, but now he's lost the slipstream. So he needs to be extra careful. Patrick Kessler now is in no man's land a little bit. 7 seconds behind in third. Phil Reed is fourth. Fifth is Manuel Hoyer. Somehow. Stefan Herman is sixth. Jean-Francois Godin was in seventh. But, and he's still in seventh, but he is lapping at the moment. Oh dear. Since that off he had, I wonder if he damaged something, Sam, because he's in the 59s in 2 minutes now.
Yeah, I think it cost him quite a bit of caused quite a bit of aerodynamic damage, and now losing about 3 seconds a lap. So I don't think Nolden's going to quite have enough. We've got what, 4 minutes to go, so maybe 3 more laps at most. So yeah, if he had 4, he could maybe catch, but I think 3 isn't going to be enough.
Rob Plumley and Tom Van Hooyman still battling over 15th place. Should go and watch Rob Plumley's. He's got his YouTube channel, he's got his Twitch channel, that's on the side of his car there. It's always an enjoyable viewpoint from when Rob races.
Doing that for quite a few years now.
Yeah, he has, and he deserves a hell of a lot more views as well than what he gets, because his content's very good, and yeah, go and watch that channel. You're not supposed to really plug other channels really, but yeah, do it. Go and watch those.
Right,
Harrison Finch then, speaking of plugs, he's plugging away, but he's drifting away now from Rennie Osterkamp. 3.2 seconds, it's been another shocking lap, and I wonder if that, Adam, could well be the fact that he didn't change the tyres that's now really haunting him. Yeah,
it looks like it might just be a few minutes too far for those tyres. Cannot believe what's going on in the football at the moment. That's why
could also be the fuel issue as well.
Go on,
what's happening in the football?
Cardiff have had 2 penalties in stoppage time and have missed both of them.
Oh dear, what a shame for them.
Yeah. Mrs. Doubtfire is going to be very distraught about that. Neil Warnock. And it's full time as well. That's the top 2 race back on for us Villa fans. But yeah, 2 minutes to go.
Mrs. Doubtfire, bloody hell. Oh, Mrs. Doubtfire that criticised the referees a lot. Osterkamp leads by 3 seconds over Finch, and then it's Kessler. Kessler's not going to have enough for Finch, I don't think. Finch's goose, I think, is cooked. There's probably other unintentional bird references that we'll get in there as well at some point. Reed and Hoyer, Sam, it's fairly close, but I don't think any action's going to come of it in the last couple of laps.
No, Hoyer's had slightly better pace, but it's not going to be enough to close the gap, I think. Because that battle was really on earlier on, I think, and Hoyer just seemed to lose a little bit in the pit stops, I think, and just drop back a little bit, and yeah, seems to be coming home in 5th position. Moritz just got past Lindstrom about half a lap ago, got down the inside into the final chicane, and yeah, that puts Moritz up into P10 past Lindstrom.
Well, that's not bad for Moritz at all, considering he was facing the wrong way halfway through the first lap. Not too shabby. Christian Takac is back up to 14th. He was well off in the first lap as well. I think he was he lost about 5 places and maybe 10 seconds through that. René Osterkamp starting what could be the final lap, Adam. It's going to be quite close, I think, but...
Yeah, final lap. Yeah, crossed the line with about just over a minute to go. So, yeah, this is the final lap of the race. And, yeah, Osterkamp's now extended the gap up to 6 seconds. So, top 10 quickly as we start the last lap. It's Osterkamp, Finch, Kessler, Reed with a 2-second lead over Hoyer. Then 6 seconds back to Herman. And 14 back to Godin. Then Nolden, who's 2 seconds ahead of the biggest mover in the field. That is Conor Ryan. And the top 10 rounded out by Moritz, as we've got just 7 seconds to go.
There we go then, Osterkamp to the hairpin. Tricky corner, actually. You can have a daft incident on the exit of there if you're not careful. Osterkamp does have to apply some opposite lock just to keep the Formula Renault 2 litre straight. Now he powers through this right-hand kink, which it's not really a corner, it's just an acceleration zone, really. It might as well be another straight into spoon curve. Double apex right-hander. The first bit's a bit faster, but the second one's got a bit of nice camber to help you. And now he fires the car up the hill towards 130R. One of the fastest corners on the course. One of the fastest in the whole calendar. Nice and easy, 230 kilometers an hour. No issues for Osterkamp. He's just got the Casio triangle to go. Hard braking, bounces over the curves. He's not holding anything back on the final lap. He wants the fastest lap of the race. He just might get it. René Osterkamp comes through, and he takes the win in Apex Online Racing at Suzuka.
Oh, Kessler's hit. Finch is off. I think he's got disqualified.
Oh, he's been DQ'd in the last corner.
Harrison Finch.
I think he might have been out of fuel. He was out of fuel anyway. He was out of fuel going into the final corner.
And he tries to defend this. But he, you know what?
Made it home. He might have coasted down the hill at least.
You know what? That's a tough break for both of them, Kessler and Finch, because I don't think there's any way, or at least, we think what I'm trying to say. I think that Kessler just.
I don't think he would have known.
Even if he had have known. I don't reckon he thought that he didn't anticipate that closing speed. I think it was just really, really tough situation for both of them, really. Finch, obviously, will be devastated because that was just about as close as you can get to the line without actually getting there. But Sam, I think that's just one of those unfortunate things that happens. If the fuel is a bit low, you can sometimes have those kind of things happening.
Yeah, must have just put the thoughts down and didn't go anywhere, and Kessler had nowhere to go. Of course, it's such a early finish line round here. The finish line's literally just after that little kink, so he didn't have far to go, and it's downhill. That's painful for him, but Finch will finish in 20th position when it really should have been second. Fought so hard for the win. Hopefully we'll see him back next week though at Mid-Ohio to maybe exact revenge.
I did a Blancpain Sprint Series race in a BMW Z4. That ran out of fuel just on the entry into 130R, and I was able to coast home from there. So I think he would have been fine, but Kessler wasn't to know that he was out of fuel, and the car, the Harrison Finch car, was just in the way at the worst moment, I think. So it was a bit of a mess. Yeah,
it wasn't anything either of them could have done, I don't think.
We do have.
I think I was going to say we should go through the results first. I think.
Yeah, Alex, have we got them up on the screen?
No, but they'll be there in just a short second. That's for sure.
We just had to double check, don't we, with this new overlay that we've got on Apex Racing TV.
Well, since we've got you, Alex, did you get a chance to enjoy that second half of the race a bit more?
Oh yeah, I did enjoy the second half of the race. Then now that I wasn't worried about anything else that was going on, yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I didn't realise that you were so snowed under with all those little
Oh yeah, so
little things.
it's always an issue when there's something like that goes on. So just trying to keep
yeah.
everybody. Everybody kept asking questions like, "When is it starting?" on the other chat, and it's like, "Well, it's already started over there."
I mean, obviously as well, you love this place, so you always enjoy a race here, won't you?
Yeah, wow, can't go wrong with a with a race
track.
around here. Yeah, I love this place. So
Right then, have we got the results?
yeah, we have.
Cool. Adam, do you think?
Okay. Renault Osterkamp then wins 11 seconds in the end ahead of Patrick Kessler. At one point, it was just a few tenths of a second, and I wonder how crucial that wheel-to-wheel battle with Finch was just after the pit stops. It helped him get the win. Phil Reed finishing in third place. Good podium there for car 44. Manuel Hoyer finishing in fourth in the end. Of course, everybody here promoted a position after the disqualification of Finch late on.
Does that mean that Phil Reed's going to talk about everyone having the best fans at Suzuka?
Having the best fans. Either that or he's blessed with the disqualification of him. One car 44 doesn't have a grid penalty, another one does. Manuel Hoyer finishing in fourth, fifth for Stefan Herman. Jean-Francois Godin finishing in sixth place. Carry on. For Conor Ryan, biggest mover, gain of 11 places. Ninth and for Lindstrom. And then it was.
Stop you there, Adam. You sound like you're on an 80s pop record. You've been synthesized, I think, a bit.
Yeah, I'm afraid everybody is.
Oh, everybody is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll come back.
Ladies and gentlemen, Discord. I'm afraid. I think. Oh, we sound good now. I think.
Oh,
Yeah,
that sounds better.
Sounds a bit better.
Yeah, we're all right.
We'll persevere. 11th for Imre, and then Hay in 12th. Then Takax in 13th, and Rob Plumley 14th, 15th for Tom Van Humen, Daniel Morris in 16th, I.M. Keyman in 17th after starting in 22nd, 18th for Scott Newton. Credit to him. I don't think many other drivers would have got behind the wheel after the damage that happened to his Formula Renault car there. Just checking that, no fast repair either. So they did a very good job of repairing the front end of that one. Then Joseph Ringrose finishing in 19th, and then the car's one lap down or more. Harrison Finch, one lap down, DQ'd. Don't know what the organisers will do about that in terms of delivering points. We'll wait and see on that one. Sam Blackwood, one lap down. Sarah Dove, 2 laps down, and Marvin Sluman, 5. And then the cars that were out of the race earlier on, David Boussalar, Alec Hudson, Enric Andre going off at just after Dunlop at the Degner curves. Jordan Pierce, 20 laps down, and Tal McLeod's having a big one, doing a Jerome D'Ambrosio at that corner, I think, finishing in 28th place, 25 laps down.
All right, well, I thought it was a cracking installment of Apex Online Racing tonight. We do have a couple of drivers waiting to talk to us. First one being Scott Newton, if you're there, Scott.
Yeah, Andrew. How's it going?
Mate. Well, normally in the commentary box with us, of course, and out on the track today. And, well, it didn't go that well, did it? It started off well, but it's just that bit of grass there, it caught a few people out.
Yeah, definitely. Managed to get past. I was at Enric Andre at the start of the race. After Hoyer had problems at turn 1. I think there was just a little bit of contact, so I knew that I had to get past and managed to get around the outside at the S's there. So, but just going into the second part of Spoon, the car just lost the back end, and Rancy won't try to save it, but it's very bumpy out there. So that's how I found the wall. Well,
it wasn't the best ending to the event for you, of course, but you did manage to finish the race, and I suppose that's always really important in a season like this, where you've got many rounds to go, so you don't want to be getting zeros on on that score sheet because obviously you weren't at Silverstone. So, what's the goal for the rest of the season? You know, we go to Mid Ohio next, then Monza, then the Nordschleife. So, how do you think you're going to tackle those tracks?
Yeah, well, I think Mid Ohio is going to be quite a difficult one, to be fair, because it's not a very strong track for me. But yeah, with drop rounds involved, hopefully this will be one of the drops, and yeah, hopefully I'll be able to pick up the points that I normally do in the following races. But yeah, we'll see how we go. It's going to be pretty tough with the level of competition out here. So as you say, yeah, it's going to be certainly one to watch over the next, I think, 14 or 15 races we've got left in the championship, including all the sprint and feature races.
Well, it's getting closer all the time in this series, just like a lot of the other ones we cover. And well, I'm just going to give you a little bit of time to just thank the team and thank the sponsor or your friends, family, whoever.
Yeah, no worries. Cheers, Andrew. I'd like to thank all the guys over at Apex Online Racing for turning up each week, providing the great racing. It always makes it good to get up at 2:30 in the morning. But also I'd like to thank the guys at Apex Racing UK, the sponsors JCL Sim Racing, Leo Bodner, Sim Steering, and SDK Gaming, and also to you guys for the broadcast.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
No worries. Thanks very much.
Cheers, Scott. And now Adam has found what I assume will be pretty devastating. Harrison Finch, Adam.
Oh, Harrison, what a roller coaster of emotions that race was for you. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it was a pretty crazy race. I enjoyed it for the most part.
Well, it started, yeah, the mid part of it. There was almost a crucial moment where you and Rene Osterkamp had a sensational duel coming out of the pit lane where you were wheel to wheel for a good few corners.
Yeah, that that was good close racing. I think the contact was unfortunate, but I wouldn't really blame him because I had a bit of oversteer entering the previous corner, and I think I might have moved over into him a bit. So yeah, it's just unlucky for the contact. But I still managed to catch back up. I just ran out of fuel.
Oh yeah, running out of fuel towards the end was. What did you think of Kessler behind? Was there nothing much he could do behind you when you ran out of fuel in the final chicane?
No, I take blame for that. I probably should have just let him go in the first place, but I thought I'd actually be able to press the throttle down. I'd be able to move, but I just had nothing, no power at all. So the fuel must have just been completely gone. I was just trying to save for the last 5 or so laps, but yeah, it still wasn't enough really.
If you hadn't been hit, do you reckon you would have been able to have coasted from the chicane down to the line?
Yeah, I think just about, but I don't know if I would have kept third or I would have finished fourth. I don't really know.
Is there different fuel mixtures that you can use on the Formula Renault, or is it just the one and you've got to save the fuel yourself?
No, it's just the one. The fuel saving isn't too hard at this track because you can coast into a lot of corners. Like turn 1, that's just a really long corner, so you can just coast all the way through it. But yeah, I think I was 0.5 laps down on fuel with 5 laps to go. So I was just trying to save 0.1 each lap, but it still wasn't enough.
Yeah, next week then, Mid Ohio, a track you like, or what's your opinion on that track?
I'm not sure if I'll race and see if I have time to prepare for it. But last season at this track I did quite well. I think I got second. Yeah, but I think it's a different layout this time. So I'll probably have to make a few setup changes and learn some more lines.
Well, hopefully we do see you there. Hopefully you get some time to get some practice in. But while it was unfortunate what happened at the end, it was a good race from you, and yeah, well done on the evening.
Thank you. Thanks for broadcasting.
All right, well done to Harrison Finch for performance in the race, but obviously didn't get the result he would have wanted. And I think we're going to get Joseph Ringrose in the commentary box as well, and he's going to be with Sam.
Well done, Joe, for that race. How was it from your perspective? Who were you fighting out there?
Well, towards the start of the race, I had a pretty bad qualifying. I had a pretty average first lap, put me towards the back and mucked up my second and third lap. So qualifying was a bit unfortunate, putting me down in P27, I believe. And then just sort of, I was just on the back of like Jordan Pierce, Robert Plumley, that sort of group throughout the first stint, and then was battling with Evan a bit of the race when he came in, and just sort of kept it out of the wall. And after the pit stop, Scott was like 20 odd seconds in front, and Sam was like a lap down. So I was in no man's land pretty much.
We were talking earlier on with the hot track temperatures. Were tyres an issue at all, or was the degradation not too bad?
I think it's just the way this car is. The degradation for me personally wasn't too bad. I think it could have been worse. I had a sort of a bit of one scare coming up the chicane on like lap 25. That was the only real issue I had with tyres. But other than that, I didn't have an issue personally. I've heard about guys having issues, but from my point of view, they're all good for me.
Yeah, next up we've got Mid-Ohio. Personally, it's one of my favourite circuits. Do you think you'll go well down there?
I think it's the complete opposite for me, really. I think the past couple of rounds have been pretty strong circuits for me, especially this week, managing to get P19, finally some points. But I don't think Mid-Ohio, because we're back to the feature sprint race format, unless there's a bit of carnage. I don't think I'm going to fare too well there. Last season, just in the official races, I struggled, and I can't really see that changing. Just doesn't suit my driving style. But who knows? Something could happen. I could manage to scrape some points. But yeah, let's just aim for a finish.
Yeah, and is there anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to obviously thank Connor and Harrison Finch for helping me this week, and all the boys at VRT, and obviously AOR for organising it. So Ty in the team, Ty, David, Tom Van Hoyman, Marcel Miles, who couldn't be here today, Rasmus and Jordan Pierce, and Alistair, of course. Yeah, that's it from me.
Yeah,
Shout
hope
out.
to see you next week.
Will do. Thank you, guys. See you next week.
Well done, Joe. And we've got another driver who really made a good impression today, Connor Ryan, who finished 8th after starting 19th on the grid. Connor, can you hear us?
Yep, I got you.
Well, welcome to the commentary box. And that must have been a really fun race, starting where you did and coming through to finish solidly inside the top 10.
Yeah, of course. I wasn't happy with where I qualified. There's something I've been struggling with a lot this season. Just won that pace. But in the race, yeah, managed to work my way up gradually. And yeah, I wasn't expecting a top 10 finish, but there you go. I'm really happy with that.
Well, qualifying's always tough around a circuit like this. We know that. We all know that. We've all tried. We've all done some good ones and some really bad ones. But I think more importantly, in an hour race, is how you handle yourself there. And did you manage to make it through the whole race without having any contact or any damage?
Yeah, contact free, I think, for the whole race. I had a few close calls, but yeah, I think that was just the main focus, keeping out of incidents and benefiting from other people's mistakes.
Yeah, and there were quite a few mistakes out there. And we're looking at the championship standings. You can see that you currently sat. Well, you were sat in 20th before today, but that'll probably move up after this result. Now, Mid Ohio next, then on to Monza. What do you make of those two tracks? Because they're very different.
Yeah, of course, Mid-Ohio is quite tight and twisty. I don't like the track as such, but I didn't do too bad there last season, so I'll have to see on that one. Monza, I've never driven that before on iRacing or in the Formula Renault, so
Okay.
but I do like the track. I've driven it on other games, so it's it's obviously it's quite different. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to them.
Going to be slipstream of plenty. That's not easy to say for some reason. But yeah, thanks for joining us in the box, mate. And just give us give a quick shout out to friends, family, team, sponsors, whoever you want.
Yeah, thanks to Radicals Online as always, helping me with the sets and testing in general. Thanks to AOR for putting this on, and thank you to you guys for the broadcast once again.
All right, great. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and you're going to enjoy it when you watch it back, of course. So yeah, that's Conor Ryan, ladies and gentlemen. So that's all we've got time for here tonight in Apex Online Racing. And we will see you back here tomorrow, and we'll have coverage of the Pen Power European V8 Supercar Championship. And then on to Sunday, we've got 2 races on tap there as well. Right, from all of us here, from Andrew Woodhouse, from Anna Bath, from Sam Fitzpatrick and Alex Simpson, it's good night from Suzuka. We'll see you guys in the next one.